Passion is one of life's most powerful and profound secrets. It's the tool that drives you to pursue and achieve goals without feeling boredom, fatigue, or exhaustion. This video explains what passion is, its true secret, how to find it if you haven't yet, and how to rekindle it if you've lost it. The role of dopamine. When we talk about passion, we're inevitably talking about dopamine. Dopamine is arguably the most important hormone secreted in your body. It provides the drive and motivation to do something or engage in a specific activity to obtain a reward, which is often the release of serotonin, the happiness hormone. Dopamine is incredibly powerful. If you were starving and on the verge of death, with food right beside you, but no dopamine was released in your body to prompt you to eat, you would die of hunger. Conversely, if you were on the verge of suicide, but a sudden idea sparked a release of dopamine to produce or achieve it, you would completely abandon the idea of suicide and continue with life. This is not an exaggeration. Dopamine only needs to know that an activity will result in a reward or the release of serotonin, and it will push you to perform that activity without feeling tired, bored, or exhausted. Consider these examples. What makes you enjoy watching a movie for an hour and a half to 2 hours, simply to say at the end, "That was a good movie"? Or, if you love to cook, as a hobby, not out of obligation, what makes you enter the kitchen and go through all the steps of cooking, which can be tedious and tiring for an hour or more, just to produce a meal you'll eat in 10 minutes? The pleasure isn't in the process itself, but in the reward you get after finishing. The same applies to a painter who spends hours, days, or even weeks on a painting, just to feel happy when it's complete. Even if there's some enjoyment during the process, the ultimate satisfaction comes at the end. The answer to what drives these activities is dopamine. Dopamine is the fuel, the drive, the motivator, and the secret behind every effort and struggle you endure to achieve a reward. Dopamine's behavior and its implications. Here's a crucial and potentially dangerous piece of information about dopamine. When your body gets used to a specific pattern, action, or activity that consistently leads to the release of serotonin, happiness hormone, it starts to reduce dopamine secretion. This is why you might get hooked on a certain meal or game, but after a while, you lose interest and the drive to pursue it. The body stops secreting dopamine when it sees you're consistently getting it through a particular behavior. This has significant implications. Once dopamine production decreases, you will naturally start seeking it elsewhere. You'll look for a more delicious meal or a more exciting game to stimulate dopamine release. This is why people addicted to restaurant food find healthy home-cooked meals unappealing. They are used to the high dopamine rush from heavily spiced, cheesy, and saucy restaurant dishes. To return to healthy eating, you need to reduce those intense stimuli and force your body to get dopamine from healthier sources. This phenomenon is even mentioned in the Quran, not as dopamine, a term invented by humans centuries later, but in the story of the Israelites who grew tired of eating only one type of food. They asked Moses for a variety of vegetables, illustrating the human tendency to seek novelty when accustomed to a single source of pleasure. The link between dopamine and passion. The connection between dopamine and passion lies in how you obtain dopamine. There are two ways. Consumption. This is the most common way people get dopamine. They consume something to stimulate dopamine release. Examples include watching TV series, playing video games, socializing, traveling, eating, going to the cinema or malls, excessive scrolling on social media, or watching non-beneficial YouTube videos. Production, creation, activity. This involves achieving something specific and obtaining dopamine upon its completion. Examples include artists, architects, inventors, teachers, content creators, athletes, football, basketball, bodybuilding, learners, studying languages, disciplines, taking courses to develop knowledge, and trainers of all kinds. Now for the core secret of passion. Excessive dopamine acquisition through consumption is called addiction. Excessive dopamine acquisition through production is called passion. When you overconsume to get dopamine, you become addicted. When you overproduce to get dopamine through work and creation, you are passionate. Remember, if dopamine stops being released from one source, you will seek it from another, or a stronger one. This means that the more you consume to get dopamine, the more you'll need to consume, and eventually more, to get the same effect. The reverse is also true. The more you produce and get dopamine, the more you will seek to produce to get more dopamine. This is precisely the meaning of passion. Finding or rekindling your passion. To find your passion or rekindle it if you've lost it, follow these steps. Reduce or eliminate dopamine sources from consumption. Cut off all sources of dopamine you get from consuming. When you do this, your body will naturally seek dopamine and find a way to produce it. A simple example: turn off your phone for 3 hours, close your room door, and stay in the room with nothing else. After the initial period of thinking, you'll start looking for something to entertain yourself. If you're a reader, you'll pick up that book you haven't finished. If you're an artist facing a creative block, you'll start drawing again. If you have no hobbies, you might clean your room, organize drawers, or throw out old things. If you have studying or homework, you'll get it done. By stopping all consumption-based dopamine sources, you force your body to seek dopamine through production. Engage in various activities and give each time. Try many different activities and dedicate time to each. Have you ever bought art supplies like acrylic paints and tried to paint, even if you've never painted before? Have you tried playing a musical instrument? Have you attempted to create content, write a book, or develop an educational curriculum? Have you tried various sports like basketball, tennis, going to the gym, kickboxing, running, cycling, or swimming? Have you delved into technology, like disassembling and reassembling a device, or mechanical work with cars or motorcycles? What about engineering, design, or sewing? There are countless activities available online. Choose 3 things you want to try, things you think you might enjoy from a long list. Start experimenting and commit to them for a period. Give them time, 4 hours a day, for example, for 4 or 5 months. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistent effort. This journey of searching for passion, though potentially long, 3 or 4 years is normal, is enjoyable in itself. You'll expose yourself to different environments, meet new people, and discover fascinating things. You will eventually find your passion because your body is wired to seek dopamine. You might enjoy everything you try, but one particular activity will click, making you say, "This is it." You might find your passion in the first 3 activities you try. Often, things you love can be transformed from a source of consumption into a source of production. For instance, if you love YouTube and spent years consuming content, try creating it. It won't be easy. It requires learning and practice. However, when you reach the production stage, you'll realize it was worth it. Conclusion: finding your passion is a simple, yet not easy process involving 3 steps. Reduce consumption-based dopamine sources. Experiment with and learn many different activities. Give each activity a dedicated period of time. These are simple steps, meaning they are not complicated, but they require effort. You might find your passion quickly, or it might take time. Either way, the journey is rewarding. Passion is a secret to success, driving great individuals like Einstein, Edison, Tesla, and Elon Musk. It pushes them to produce more, even when dopamine from previous achievements subsides. Start now. Make a plan to reduce your consumption. Gradually cut back on things like excessive TV shows, gaming, or sports viewership. Choose one team to follow, or limit gaming to weekends. By doing so, you'll naturally push yourself towards production. Then, pick 3 activities you're interested in, or revisit hobbies you've abandoned. And please, try turning off your phone. See what happens and share your experience.